Imperium arrived in Calradia and built a fledgling empire through conquest, until power struggles within the empire left it fractured, providing opportunity for the Dryatic, Botani, Saka, and other native tribes to strike back, regain some of their former territories, in an attempt to destroy the Imperium. The Botani, Celtic tribesmen from the hills of Calradia, were the first to strike back. Surprised by these counterattacks, the Imperium reeled. The battles were short, but very bloody. But more importantly, they inspired others to fight back. In the west, the Dryatic tribes united, forming a second front against the Imperium. They too were successful in pushing back the Imperium and inflicting heavy losses and the loss of many legions. Long-standing feuds between the Dryatics and the Botani were put aside for a common goal. But it was a tenuous relationship and threatened to boil over at any moment. Hey there, I'm Major Anxiety, and welcome to the first episode of a new series that I'm creating based on the Eagle Rising Dawn of an Empire mod for Mount & Blade II-Bannerlord. We're playing this on version 1.7.0, which takes advantage and shows some of the new features in the latest patch of Bannerlord, including the battle terrain system, which I'm excited to try, and a whole bunch of new features that weren't available in our last series in version 1.6.2. This mod's been around for a while, and a number of YouTube content creators have played it. Most often, though, you'll see them playing with the Romanesque Legion-type factions, which are really cool, but I like to focus on the underdog factions, and these modders have put a lot of time and effort into creating 3 additional new factions, one to replace the Valandians as the Dryatic Kingdom, to replace the Botanians. They created a Celtic-based Botani faction, and then the Khuzaits are replaced by the Saka Kingdom. The mod's a work in progress. They have other factions planned, and I'm looking forward to seeing what those are. But I'm particularly drawn to the Dryatic faction, which are the Valandian replacements. So for this playthrough, in this story, our main character will be of the Dryatic faction. There'll be a mounted bowman. And for the early to mid-game, we're going to be a trader/mercenary, at which point we'll make a decision where we go from there. And if you'd like some input on that, then please leave a comment down below. But for now, let's kind of talk about the plan of how we're going to build our character and what we're going to focus on in the early and mid-game. To start with, we're going to work on riding and our bow skills. Trying to get the Riding Horde perk at 175 riding. That's going to allow us to have our herding penalty, and we're going to trade massive amounts of horses and livestock. We're then going to focus on those skills, trading to 300, so eventually we can get the Everything Has a Price perk, which we can buy and trade fiefs. Smithing to 225 and athletics to 200. Those both allow or provide some attribute points that we can pick as perks. There's a couple of them in each that will make our character stronger in the end game. Once we've made good progress towards those goals, we'll probably join one or more groups as a mercenary and start working on our combat-related skills, our leadership skills, our charm skills, and all the other ones that are important to gain influence and reduce influence costs in the late game. So let's get into the character creation. I've kind of pre-made his look and feel here.
Infantry!
So, kind of a badass looking dude. And now comes the important part. Because we want him to have the ability to get to level 300 in trade, we've got to be very careful in how we pick things here. Attribute points are much harder to come by since you only get one every 4 levels as you level up your character. So it's best to spend those on those areas where you're going to have, more than one skill. So like in this case, I want to level leadership, I want to level charm, I want to level trade. That's an obvious spot where I want to put a significant number of attribute points in. And then I can use focus points in those areas where I want to maybe make an emphasis but not want to invest the attribute points. The first one I'm going to pick is his parents. And his parents were a Baron's retainers. That gives us a focus point in riding. Most importantly, it gives us an attribute point in social. And polearm skill is good on a horse. Of course, we're going to make a horse archer, so we're going to want to have some bow skills. I am going to want to increase endurance too over time. For now, I'm going to focus on those two areas, social and endurance, in the way that I make my picks. Okay, as a child, you were noted for your way with people. That will give me another attribute point to social, putting points in charm and leadership. And in the adolescent phase, like all children, you helped out in the fields, sold produce at the market. Gives me another attribute point to social, but also focus points in trade. And again, we're going to want to have a total of 8 attribute points in social and 5 focus points in trade to get to level 300. The next one is a youngster. We're going to pick Road with the Scouts. That'll give him some endurance attribute for both riding, and that will help out with smithing as well, but it also will give us another focus point in bow. So that fits with our story. I'm going to say you treated people well. And that will give me a point in charm and steward. Steward's also important, so I'm not going to focus on the vigor points. I mean, I may over time, depending, as we level and move on, I may put some points in there, but it's not going to be a big deal right now. I'm going to go with 20 as the starting age. That'll give me 1 unspent attribute point and 2 unspent focus points. Okay, so let's pick a color for everything. I think we'll go with this one. Select your family name. Anarti. And his first name is going to be Duras. Duras Anarti. We'll choose the Bannerlord difficulty. We'll take a little bit of a bonus on the map movement speed. And that will do it. All right. So Duras has been created. We're going to make a little adjustment to our banner colors. Yeah, that's better. So let's check out my character here. So I already have, I'm going to choose Virile. Ultimately, I'd like to get to level 300 in trade, and then we can buy and sell fiefs. So that's kind of the plan. And we have... I'll go ahead and put another one in here. And then I'm going to put those 2 points here in trade. Because early on, that's what I want to focus on, is trade. Let me see if I can't find someone to ride around with me. I gained a level. Did I get more points? I did get another point. I'm going to put another point in bow. Alright, so I picked up a friend to fight with me, and I just was ambushed by some bandits, or some looters. So I picked him up over in the Azurai area. I'm pretty much going to try to leave him out of the fight and go take it myself. Once I get a little more ammo, then I'll probably do these packs myself and focus on getting my riding and bow skills up. So I want to get riding to, I think it's room 75 for riding horde. That allows you to take larger groups of animals without as large a herding penalty. In fact, once you have that perk, your herd penalty is halved, so you have a 50% savings. It's a really nice perk.
Hear me! Forward!
So in 1.7, it appears that you go in like slow motion mode when you're giving commands to your troops. That's kind of a nice feature. I think I'm going to need to get rid of my battle buddy here, though, because they won't group up and follow me. They keep peeling off and going after him. But check out the feed in the lower left-hand corner of all the points I'm getting in bow and riding while I do this.
Soldiers! Move!
That was the worst shot ever. I guess I don't bend that far.
Come on! Troops! Get moving!
Doing range damage from a minimum distance of, I think it's 110 yards or meters, is one of the most effective and efficient ways to actually progress your character level. And with more character levels come more attribute points and focus points that you can spend, so it's well worth the time to spend a little bit of time here picking on these guys with the bow. Try to keep them at a minimum distance. Oops.
Die, you bastards!
I gotta figure out how far I can turn to make a good shot. Eventually I'll take on packs of, 20 to 30 using this method once I get more ammunition. And better skills to hit them a little more consistently
Everyone!
from range.
Onwards!
Looks like my buddy got a little tired of being chased. Sorry you have to witness how horrible I am at this, but it's the first time I've tried this technique. I saw it recommended by a bunch of other YouTube content creators, and I thought I'd give it a try in this playthrough. I'll get it, eventually. Oh, he killed him. Alright, so we're going to go sell that loot and see if we can sell some of the other gear, like his civilian town gear, and get a little bit of cash to improve the weaponry that we're going to use. And it'll make this a more efficient process. Alright, we gained a level. We got a point in riding. I want to have increased maneuvering, please. And I've still got room there. Plenty of room in trade. I'm going to put a point in smithing at this point. So this will be a fairly tedious process, repeated attacks on looters, and to the point where I can upgrade my equipment a little bit, my bow, my horse. And so I'm going to fast forward until I get to that point. Alrighty. So we've been working our way from the Dryatic kingdom over towards the Saka, which is a Cyprian type faction, over where the Khuzaits used to be in Vanilla. And we've been fighting barbarians, which are the Eagle Rising Mod's version of looters, using our bow. We've not really changed out much of our gear, except I have managed to upgrade my horse with the earnings that I've made. I now have an Azurai horse, and I put a light saddle on with a little better. But my gear itself is the same. I have, however, sold all my clothes and goods to buy additional arrows, and I am using the tactic of finding larger groups of looters and killing them with the bow. Archery and riding while shooting the bow give you massive amounts of XP early in the game. So I'm leveling up. I've got this noble Hungarian bow that I bought, which is really kind of cool. That's part of this mod as well. I've kicked that one party member that I had to the curb because he just interfered with the whole kiting looters and killing them. Looking at the character, I'm over level 10, almost level 11 now. I've made quite a bit of progress on, I now have 8 social points, social attribute points, and I only need to put one more point in trade, and that will give me what I need to achieve 300 in trade. What's really been impressive by this whole method that others have shown on YouTube of using bows to level your character and get attribute and skill points as quickly as possible. But also my riding is up to 133 already, which is amazing. My bow's over 100 now, which is, again, amazing. And so those are the two of the areas that I'm going to be emphasizing in this playthrough. So I just thought I would, I got a pack mule and a sumpter horse and 3 stacks of arrows, and I'm running around looking for barbarians and finding them. I did get captured by some forest bandits, taking on ranged with my paltry skills by myself. Basically, they kicked my ass and knocked me off my horse. I usually can take out mountain bandits, though, as long as they don't have cavalry. Let me see what they have. They do have one cavalry, so I'm going to have to focus him down. It's a roll of the dice whether you get taken out by the cavalry or not. So I want to make sure I have enough distance between me and him to fight that guy on horseback and kill him. Or kill his horse. Not get hit by one of his javelins. He's about to throw at me. So I sold my melee weapon, and all I have is this bow and arrows. So it's a fine line to keep them at distance. Plus I need to keep distance from the foot troops there, because they also have javelins, which you probably saw them chucking those at me too. Here we go. Take him off his horse. Shoot him in the leg. I think these guys have chucked most of their... Now they got rocks still. Come on. Ow. Alright. Keep hiding behind that shield. I'm going to keep shooting you in the knee. Well, there. Wasn't the prettiest thing I've ever done, but considering I killed a tier 3 and a tier 4, I took a tier 3 and a tier 4 prisoner, I can't complain. And you get a little higher quality of loot. see if I can go get these fellas out of here. Let's wait here for a little bit. What I want to do, I'm looking for parties of looters around, in between 10 and 15, 20 at the most. Like that one right there. They willingly attack you. And then they don't realize you have 3 quivers full of arrows. And I moved out of my original area. I'm kind of working my way west because once I get over here and I feel like I've got my skills up where I want them, then I'm really going to start trading. And I want to get the mounted units available from the Saka or Cyprians. And yeah. So we'll see how that goes. At that point, I'll be big enough that these guys will leave me alone. I'll have a big enough party that I can carry more horses. That one guy's really good at chucking rocks. See, I'm getting massive XP. I'm getting points in bow, I'm getting points in riding. You can see in the lower left there. I just gained a level. And all I've pretty much been doing here for, it's been about an hour maybe. That was mainly because I was talking to my wife. Don't hit my horse, bastard. I can't believe I'm shooting between them. What I want to do is get them in a line.
Die, you bastards!
Now you can do bigger groups, but you're going to run out of arrows. So you got to retreat. When you do that, you restock with arrows and all is right with the world. Shot to the face, barbarian. So getting a pretty good amount of loot. You know, starting armor I have is better for the most part than most of that stuff, so haven't really had cause to do much. It's not really worth taking them prisoner because you only get, 5 or 6 dinars per. Occasionally you get a piece of, a trade good or whatever that they drop. Let's take a look where I'm at now. So yeah, I'm up to 141 riding. I have a skill point because I hit level 11. I hit level 11 in that fight, and you can see I got 9,696 XP and within level 11. Now XP is easy to get at this level, much harder once you get higher up through to higher levels. So it's kind of why I'm taking advantage of this now, trying almost like farming skill points. But so yes, I am going to put one more into riding. And then I gotta heal up here a little bit. I took some rocks to the face on that one, so. So basically I'm just going to continue doing this until I level up a bit more, and then I'm going to start forming a party just across the water here from where I'm at now. You can see the Saka faction. We'll add some of them to my party and get to work on trade. So as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this new series, and if you have any suggestions or comments, go ahead and leave a comment on the video, and we'll see what direction we take as we progress through. Take care now.